Hey everybody, it's Lisa from the Silver Farmhouse. Let's make this cute primitive sunflower on a frame. I found these napkins in Hobby Lobby. Aren't they beautiful? They're like a yellow and white check. You can use anything you want to make your sunflower petals. I just thought this would make a great petal. I am going to put on a pair of rubber gloves and we're going to use some of my favorite coffee mixture. It's a half heaping cup of instant coffee. Please use instant coffee, not the ground brewed coffee. You need instant coffee. Half cup of water, warm to hot water, mix it up in a cup, put it in a spray bottle and spray your fabric or your napkin and then blot it with a paper towel to take off some of that excess spray. You do want to saturate your fabric or napkin and then blot it off because we're going to take a hairdryer now. We're going to dry this up a little bit. It's going to make your fabric a little stiffer and I'm going to tell you don't dry it all the way. You want it a little damp yet, so we're just going to run the hairdryer on this a little bit to dry it up. A crafting hairdryer is a great thing to have to dry your fabric up. And your coffee mixture, whatever you do not use, you can store in the refrigerator. I store mine for about up to 2 weeks before I end up tossing it out if I don't use it, just so it doesn't get moldy or grow any mold. So dry up your fabric until it's slightly damp. Okay, don't dry it all the way because we need to do a little crunching effect yet. Here's the frame I'm using. I got it from Hobby Lobby. It was from Woodpile. Woodpile does go on sale, I believe, every other week. I do like the color, but I want it a little bit grungier for my primitive look. So I'm taking a black ink pad and a brush, and I am going to brush this with some black ink. Black ink is a great thing to make things look old, grungy, and primitive. I'm going to do the front of the board and the sides. I'm not really going to worry about the back. Listen, if the board you have maybe is not the color you want, say it's a bare wood, you can always use some antiquing wax and stain it, and you can even put antiquing wax over this board to make it a little bit darker. So here's our board, here's our fabric. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut the fabric on the folds. I'm going to say roughly it's 5 to 7 inches long. You can make these as long or as short as you want. This is going to be my first set of petals that I'm cutting. You may get 6 to 7 petals depending on your fabric size or how long it is. I believe I use about 6 to 7 petals and I'm not making sure they're all the same size. It's good the way it is. Go with it. They don't have to be the same size, same length. It's all about having fun and creating this your own way. What we're going to do now is take these petals that I just cut out and we're going to add some hot glue to the end of them, give them a little crunch, and we're going to start placing them in the center of our board, making our first layer of petals. I do overlap the corners a tiny little bit and only add a little bit of glue. You don't need a ton. I'm probably going to get about 6 to 7 petals on my first go round here. And then we're going to end up adding some more layers on top of this. Don't worry about your center. That's coming up too. So you're going to have a hole in your center and it's okay because we're going to make a center for this sunflower. So I have my first layer on and now I'm going to go and cut my second layer out. Listen, the second layer I do cut a little bit shorter petals than the first layer just because this is going to be another layer on top and I didn't want them the same length. So just cut as many petals as you can get out of one strip of fabric. If you need more, you can cut more. And I'm just going to add more hot glue to the end of them. And now I'm going to place them in between each petal on the first layer. And remember, these are still a little damp and you want them that way. I love to wear rubber gloves for this reason because coffee stains my hands and it really dries them out and they start to crack. So rubber gloves are a great thing to have too. Now we're going to cut another layer of petals because I need some more petals. We're going to go on to our third row. This is going to be the last and final row of our petals. You can cut them a little shorter. You can cut them the same length as the previous ones. Going to be up to you. Run with it. And same thing. Go in between the petals on the previous layer that you just did. And remember, leave that center hole open because we're going to create a centerpiece for this. And here you go. I have all my petals on. Now what we're going to do is I am going to crunch and dry. Okay, we're going to dry these up a little bit, but you want to crunch as you're drying. I didn't want my petals to be that flat looking petal. I wanted them to have a little dimension to them, look a little bit more primitive, rugged, real. So I'm just going to crunch and dry, and you can straighten them out after you crunch them up. Don't worry about how they're all underneath each other. You just pull them out and straighten them back out. Now, my sunflower needs a little bit more of a grungy look, so I'm going to take the black ink pad again, and I'm just going to rub the petals a little bit with some black ink. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to. Listen, you don't even have to coffee stain your napkin or fabric if you don't want to. Maybe you just like the regular plain look of your napkin, and that is totally fine. Here at the Silver Farmhouse, I love primitive, so I make everything primitive. I am going to get this wire jute. This is what I'm going to use to create my center. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It's a dark brown, but Dollar Tree does sell a lighter colored jute, and you can darken it up with some stain and some ink. If you can't find the dark brown, or you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you, go to the Dollar Tree because they do have the light version of the wire jute. Just start to create yourself a spiral with your jute. Wrap and wrap and wrap, and you're going to notice that as you keep wrapping, it's going to kind of want to form upwards towards the center of the jute, like where you started to wrap, and it's okay. You want that 3D look. It gives a little bit of a pop in the center. Raises a little bit, and that's what you're looking for. Don't try to push it down. Add your glue to the edge, okay, where your edge of your jute would be. And I'm going to push my jute down on the outside edges of the jute. I don't want to press that center down because I want that little bit of a 3D effect. So make sure you just push the edges. And guys, look, there you have it. We created our sunflower. It is so pretty. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. Thank you for watching the Silver Farmhouse.